why are you running for re-election to the Lufkin ISD School Board?
I have loved serving as a board member since 2013. It has just been a joy and a pleasure. I'm very passionate about education and about children and about our community. And school board just really fits those passions perfectly for me. You know, as a former teacher, I feel like it's important that we have educators on the board. As a mom who has had 2 graduates and I have an incoming 9th grader now, I feel like that's an important thing too. And for our community as a whole, what Lufkin ISD produces affects every single person here. And I'm very, very honored and privileged to have been a part of that for the past 12 years, and I hope to continue as we move forward.
What are your thoughts on the current state of Lufkin ISD?
I feel like Lufkin ISD is finally in a really great place to soar. We're really going great guns, and we've started so many new programs in the past 12 years. STEM Academy, ECHS, the Dyslexia Program, Young Scholars. We had all these great things going, and we've had GT, ECH, or the dual language for many, many decades. And we were just doing so well, and then COVID hit, and we really took a big hit during COVID. And financially, things were really difficult for a while, and with our new leadership and with all these difficult decisions that we've made this past spring, I feel like we are getting ready to just take off. We've gotten rid of all the excess luggage, if you will, all the excess baggage. We've really focused in on what our role is, what our mission is, and we're ready to just take off and serve our community in the best way possible. And our kids, you know, that's really where our focus is serving them the best and giving them the best experience they have, so that when they graduate, they have choices and opportunities.
You know, in February, the current school board, they voted to close Earth Primary and Coston Elementary schools.
We did.
Due to declining enrollment and high operating costs.
Yes.
Of course, you're a board member, so you voted on that.
I did.
What's your stance on that decision?
My stance is that it was an incredibly difficult decision, but it was the right decision. Last year when we were looking for a new superintendent, I was very, very adamant that we had fresh eyes and no ties, that we brought someone in who was going to be able to look at the data, who didn't have any preconceived notions or ties anywhere that he was going to feel led to. So he came in and we did a demographic study. We got the Future Facilities Committee together, and that was a committee of 30 people who went to every campus. Every principal was able to show them, here's the state of our campuses, here's where we are. And when you looked at the numbers, it didn't make sense to continue operating with as many campuses moving forward. We're really trying to right size from top to bottom, and it was very difficult to close those 2 campuses. If you'd asked me last year, which campus do you think you're going to close? Because last year I thought we'll close 1. It would not have been either one of those. And so it was really hard to make that decision because the lives affected and the history. There's so much history on those campuses. But moving forward, it's going to be what's best for kids, and it's going to right size us and allow us to give teachers salary increases and to really provide the things that we need to our community.
You guys also voted to cut some of that admin staff. What was your stance on that decision?
That, again, was the right decision. We just had to do that. We, again, had a study. They came in and they looked at our overall staffing, and it was clear that we just had too much administration. We all kind of knew that, but seeing the numbers in front of you, you couldn't argue it. We were very, very fortunate in that Dr. Hockenberry was able to have conversations with everyone affected. We actually didn't even get a list of those names. And so we didn't have to go through the full process. We started the process, and Dr. Hockenberry, through conversations and discussions and moving people around, was able to make those necessary changes to what we're looking like structurally. And so, again, really hard. It affects lives, and I've learned afterwards of a few people that it just breaks your heart because they're great people. But we have to right-size the district and do what's best for kids. With our enrollment down by so many and our administration numbers up so high, we had to get back to a better balance.
What could parents and students of Lufkin ISD expect from you as a board member for another term?
Pretty much what they've gotten in the past. I'm going to be present, I'm going to be prepared, and I'm all about public education. I'm also very accessible. People know where to find me if they have questions. I always tell people we cannot fix what we don't know about. So I have received emails, phone calls, visits from people throughout the years of things that, quite frankly, we can't be everywhere. And so when things come to our attention, I try to bring those forward, get answers to those questions, and respond back as best as I can. But I am very much an involved board member. I get very prepared for our meetings. I read the board packet ahead of time so I know what's coming and what questions to ask at meetings. And, you know, and also somebody that has just a passion for kids and for our families and teachers.
And if you could change one thing about Lufkin ISD, what would it be and why? And if not, if you wouldn't change anything, why not?
Let me get out my pom-poms. I love Lufkin ISD. Yes, there are some things that aren't 100% there. We're working on it, but I think overall, by far, Lufkin ISD is the best choice for people in our area, for their children. We have more special programs. We're able to offer all 5 of the branches of House Bill. 3 or 5 from years ago. We have early college, high school, STEM Academy, GT programming. We have all these wonderful choices for our kids. We have a fantastic fine arts department at the high school. And that, you know, escalates through the rest of their lives. We have just things that produce great people. When I look at outcomes, I'm very, very outcome driven, and I look at where our kids go. And all of our kids, when they graduate, have a plan for moving forward. And we have some kids, a lot of them, that go to AC, SFA. They go into those wonderful CTE jobs that are so important for the backbone of our community. But we also have graduates that have gone to Princeton, Duke, Rice, WashU, and been incredibly successful. And I don't think there's another district in our area that can produce that. I'm so proud of our outcomes and what our teachers are able to produce. When you look overall at our district and the fact that we're 88% economically disadvantaged, it's miraculous, the results that we're able to get. And so I think Lufkin ISD is the best place to be.
What are some things that you want voters to know ahead of Saturday that I just haven't asked about, or am I
Yeah. Okay. Just as far as who I am as a candidate,
Yes.
yeah,
Yes.
I'm happy to tell you about that. I am somebody who was an education major in Baylor. I went to Baylor University. I have secondary education in English and French. And then I have a master's in English and a master's in educational leadership. So I've taught 5th grade through college-age kids, except for the 11th grade. My mom was a teacher. My grandmother worked in schools. I just have a very, very big heart for education. In my new role at the Museum of East Texas, I've been here for 2 years as director, and you talk about a dream come true. We'll be able to bring in field trips and bring in our kids. Little plug for, we have a celebration of students exhibit right now going on. If y'all want to come see the work of kindergarten through 12th graders in Lufkin ISD through May 16th, we'd love for you to come see that. But I just am so honored to have been able to serve as a board member since 2013, and I hope to continue because we have a lot of big decisions ahead, and I think experience matters when you're looking at those things.